Hey, this is Stacia, and I'm back from the Joe Young Memorial Tournament, which was played on the weekend of July 15 through 17 in 2022. So this tournament was a bit of a challenge for me just because I was also setting it up and working it because I work for Progress with Chess. So it is a little bit challenging to help with organizing it, which I did clear through Friday night until about 11 p.m. and then wake up in the morning and play in it. But that is what I did because I love chess. So let's go ahead and open this book, right? Open the board, grow the board rather. Okay, and we're going to look at my first game. So the first two rounds of the tournament were game in 60, and the remaining rounds, 3 through 5, since I did the 2-day option, those are game in 100 with 30-second increment. So G60 is still classical chess, but G100 with 30-second increment, now that's classical chess. I like that much better. But let's go ahead and look at this one. I have not analyzed this with the engine, but we will turn it on from time to time and see. So D4, I played D5. My opponent went C4. I went D takes C4. And he went knight to F3. And these are interesting moments always with the Queen's Gambit Accepted, because you're like, hey, they just played knight F3. Are they going to go with just like a normal, like E3, just whatever, win back the pawn, and just play sort of passively with a slight advantage? Or are they going to go, knight C3 and E4 and really try to fight for maximum advantage, which I think is way more challenging. But okay, I played knight F6, and what is he going to do? Well, he did play knight C3. And against this move, I like A6. So why do I play A6? Well, I'm going to go B5. Like, okay, you did not move your E pawn. So if you do nothing, I'm going to play B5. I'm going to hold on to this extra pawn. Now, you guys might know by now that I'm not a big fan of holding on to pawns, but I like holding on to this pawn because white needs to play bishop takes C4. That's like, they need to play that for their development to be harmonious. And when that doesn't happen, it's a little bit annoying for white. So that's part of why I don't mind playing this way. He went A4. He's like, okay, I'm not going to let you go B5. I was like, fine. So I played knight to C6. So what's the idea behind this move? It looks kind of silly, right? Like D5. I'm just walking into D5. Well, that's true, but then I'll go knight A5. My knight cannot be easily kicked out of A5, and it will guard the pawn. If B4, we can always take en passant, and my knight can remain on A5, where it does have a weakness to jump into as well. So knights on the rim are dim, but this knight actually does good work from here, and he may jump into B3 at some point. Okay, so E3 was played now, which I thought was a strange decision. Like, if you're going to play knight C3, why not go E4? So we are going to look at the opening book for a second. I'm just curious. Yeah, E4 is the main move. Wow, and in the database, black does much better than white, even after E4. So that's pretty interesting to me. Now, I guess here I would probably play, I don't know. What would I play? Well, he's going to take back the pawn. I would probably do what I did in the game and go knight A5 and just say, okay, you didn't force me to do this move, but I'm in the way of my C pawn anyway, so I'll play knight A5 and hold on to the pawn. Turns out that is the book move, or a book move. Another one is bishop G4, which pins the knight, which means that this is sort of under attack now. we could potentially take here, and after queen takes, maybe go ahead and take on d4. So it puts pressure on the center. Also getting outside the pawn chain, we could try e6 after this. So just to put a couple more moves on for myself, bishop e3. And wow, the main move is to take. Let's see if the engine likes that as well. It does. Yeah, black's a little better. They typically take with the g pawn now. But black's like way better in this position. Well, actually that's not true. Black scores really well in this position. Let me say that. Like white hardly ever wins. But the computer says minus 0.1 for black after knight a5. Okay, I mean, I wouldn't mind this position just looking at it. I like it. I still have this annoying thing. We've wrecked the king side. The queen side doesn't look so safe either. I kind of like it. In the game, I was worried about e4, but my opponent played e3. So I kind of thought this is a little silly. The computer agrees, thinks black's a little better. Okay, I'm turning it off. Okay. Yeah, here I had to think because what do I do here? I mean, part of the reason I play knight c6 is to put pressure on d4, which is now very defended. So I thought, okay, bishop takes c4 is coming. You know, if I just go e6, he goes bishop takes c4. Now I don't know why my knight's on c6 anymore. You know, I want to play c5 next, and I can't do that. So I didn't like that, so I played knight a5, which it turns out is the main book move. Okay, and black's good here, which I thought was true. And then he went knight to e5, which I didn't really consider. It seems a little wasteful to me, just because, well, his point is that he wants to take back the pawn. He's going to go knight takes, and after knight takes, bishop takes c4. But I feel like the trading of pieces benefits me, if anybody. And also the wasted tempos to accomplish this plan, I think also benefits me slightly. So I was happy to see 95. So I'm like, okay, well, let's just develop. e6. He did take. I took, bishop takes. Okay, and I thought this position must be fine because now I can go c5, which is the move I wanted to play. There's no longer a knight on c6. So I was feeling pretty good about this position. I thought black might be equal or slightly better. See what the engine says. Oh, it actually likes white. So where did I go wrong? Let's go back for a second. After 95. Wow. I'm a little surprised by the engine move. The two moves that it likes to keep advantage is bishop e6, which I did not consider. I mean, I did for 1 second, and I'm like, well, what am I going to do? g6? Maybe you really can play that way. Yeah, actually, I'm looking down the line. g6, bishop g7 is in there. But there's also knight b1, so apparently we put pressure on white. Well, you know what? Yeah, looking at it, it's pretty annoying for white, isn't it? Because if you're going to go knight e5, you're expecting that you can go ahead and capture and, you know. But bishop e6 is like, nah, that's okay. I'm not going to let you do that so easily. And now I don't know what white should play. Like, what should white play now? They could try bishop d2. I mean, do you really want to go bishop e2? Because then you're giving up on that. Bishop d2. Then we can just go c6. What does that do? Oh, we're just protecting the knight. Yeah, there was this theme during the game too. Okay, I need to turn the engine off and tell you guys what I was thinking during the game. Okay, so after knight to e5, I did consider c5 here. That was the other computer choice. But I was like, hey, why do I have to calculate so much and get crazy? This is G60, not G100. So I just played E6, and I was like, look, takes. My knight's not on the rim anymore. You got that, but you had to work for it, you know? That's a lot of time spent. And I felt after C5, my position has to be okay. And it is okay, but white's slightly better. So castles. Yeah, and I understand now that white's slightly better because this is a very, very typical looking position for Queen's Gambit Accepted. And in those typical positions, white is slightly better. So that makes total sense. Okay, so time to develop our pieces and castle. Bishop E7, he played Queen E2. Always a red flag when someone plays Queen E2. They're going to go Rook D1. Now, in my chessable course, the way to deal with this is to take on D4. I do believe. And then usually like Bishop D7 or something. But, yeah, I was very nervous in this part of the game, actually. Because, well, if you don't know why I'm nervous, you might want to pause the video and ask, what would happen after black castles? Like, what would happen? Okay, well, I don't know if I'm right about this, but it is something we should at least look at. I'm talking about the move D5. Okay, D5 is a move, and Rook D1's coming. So after castles, I would think Rook D1, and now D5 may come next. And I should be nervous about that. Like if I try to play just normal and I just go B6, I do wonder if D5 is just really strong here. You know, what do I do? I mean, do I take it? Okay. They'll take. Now they're on that with check. They're on this. They're on... it's not that threatening. I do kind of wonder if I could go... actually, there's no Queen C7. Queen E8. I mean, Queen E8 is not exactly the move you want to play. It's a concession. But sometimes concessions are okay. But, okay, let's just say we take and they take back. Okay, they're on the rook. I cannot play Bishop E7. So now I have to play a silly move. I don't know, Rook A7. And, well, actually, this just wins the queen, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. So I was seeing stuff like this during the game, and I'm like, yeah, D5 might be a huge problem. Now let's turn on the engine and see if I was right. If B6, wow, computer likes D5. It likes, oh, well, of course. I actually didn't mean to set this one up. You know, that's just an immediate discovery. But I was trying to illustrate my point that D5 is a thing. To avoid that thing, to avoid this move, though, we can trade first, then play B6. But yeah, now D5, it says white is plus 1.7 here. Yeah, that is what I thought too. And I've been crushed by this move D5 in a tournament game before. So, you know, even though that probably happened well over a year ago, it remains in memory forever. Okay, that's the advantage of playing tournaments. When you learn a lesson, it sticks with you. It's more painful. Learning by fire. Okay, C takes D4 is what I played. And I was curious if he would play Rook D1. I thought if he did, I will just simply move my queen off the D file. I liked the move Queen C7. Oh, I castle first. Okay. I forgot I did that. Okay. Yeah, I can castle, I think. If he takes with the rook, that just looks silly to me. So I thought after castles, he has to take with a pawn. Okay, now D5 is coming. So I played, yeah, this is tough. I played Queen C7. Okay. Now the question is, can he play d5? Why did I play queen c7? I'm so glad you asked. I was defending the bishop because after d5, when we take, that bishop might be hanging. The only thing protecting is the queen, so I've got to keep the queen on it. But I also liked this. But playing queen c7 isn't so comfortable because, I mean, he could just go like bishop e3, rook ac1, and now my queen is not well placed. But I had to go queen c7 because there is no good square, is my estimations. I thought about queen a5, but after queen a5, this might be hanging now, right? Like d5 stronger. The pawn's actually pinned. I guess I could do that. So what do? Trade first, then take? Probably. Like take, I don't know. This doesn't look right at all, does it? There's two things on e7, so let's take one. Okay, now there's that problem. I can't even develop anymore. Yeah, I don't know. This looks horrible. I'll turn on the engine. The engine says we're totally fine after rook d8. White's only slightly better. Wow. I guess the point is that after queen takes e7, we have rook takes d5. Wait, don't we get mated there? That looks like checkmate to me. Computer says no worries. Just play bishop e6. You're fine. Oh, I see why. Because they're pinned too. So they actually can't take here because then they get checkmated. That is really nice. Okay, so I always like to have a flashcard of like any interesting idea that the computer might hint at. Well, I think this is one of them. So I'm just going to make a quick note. Why do I care? Well, the reason I care is that I didn't play queen a5 because I thought this is unprotected. d5, I take. I'm going to lose my bishop. And I calculated more lines and I was like, yeah, that's always a problem. But if I can play queen a5, I like it. I'm not on the c file in line with the rook that will eventually land there. So yeah, like don't put your queen in open files, right? And that's an open file. Okay, bishop e3. I thought I had no choice. Bishop d2, d7, I mean. Yeah, rook ac1. So my opponent, you know, he was on it. He's like, look, I'm just going to put a rook on c1 and see what happens. Okay. So my plan against rook ac1, which I calculated, was bishop c6. I thought I could play bishop c6. Yeah, what was my calculation? I thought on d5, I could take. Notice the queen is protecting that. I could take, if they take, I take. And if they take, what was I planning here? Seems like I can just move the queen, right? Maybe just queen b6. No, that's in line with the bishop. Actually, it's covered by the bishop. Maybe queen a5. I don't know. But one thing I failed to realize, though, during the game, because, like, if, you know, black needs to develop their bishop, they can do that successfully, then they're fine. So if I can play bishop c6 and d5 doesn't work, then black is fine. And I'm just going to play chess from there. It'll be fine. It'll be equalish. Unfortunately, though, after bishop c6, you know, d5 does come with tempo. That's one thing that I didn't pay enough attention to. You know, I'm making d5 stronger by putting my bishop here. So I actually think I misplayed this. And he did play d5, which I thought was the best move. Yeah. Yeah, d5's good. White has an advantage after d5. I did take. He took. I felt like I got to take, right? I mean, what else? This is with check, by the way. So I took. Bishop takes knight. Okay. Yeah, and I planned this move. Ooh, I missed a key idea here, though. Yep. This is why I lost the game this moment, I'm pretty sure. I'm just kind of remembering this. The problem with this position, which I calculated, is that I stopped here and I'm like, hey, I'm fine, but there's a little tactic for black here. They can simply take. Okay, can't take with a queen. That would lose a queen. That I knew. But I thought here, and I'm fine, but I'm not fine. Queen takes a6. Now I'm a pawn down, and that was a pretty important pawn because now a4 is a pass pawn. And there's tons of pressure here. And white's more developed. Their rooks are already active. Their queen is invading. My rook on f8 has done nothing. My bishop on e7 is doing nothing. I feel like I'm almost just completely lost here. Now I'll check with the engine. Yep, it is true. Okay. So, all right, I'm going to show you the rest of the game in case you're interested. And then we're going to go back and see where did I go wrong. Because my bishop d7, bishop c6, allowing d5, I did not calculate that right because I missed this at the end. And so what should I have done? What could I have done instead? But so the game went like this. I just try to play a little tricky now because I kind of felt like if I didn't, I would just lose. Yeah, but he found this move, which I did think was best. I planned queen e5 here because now his queen's still attacked and mine isn't. But I missed queen b5. Yeah, queen b5 is just great. I mean, like, I didn't think this was so strong at first. I'm like, oh, he'll double his pawns and then I can go win them. Yeah, well, it's not that simple. I'm not really developed. So after queen takes, pawn takes. Yeah, good luck winning those pawns. You know, I try to be as active as I could now, but I think it's just too late. Bishop d8, because what else? You know, if I go, I don't know. I mean, if I attack the pawn, I felt like he could just move it. Like, who cares? You could even do this just to put on the light square to annoy me. You know, the bishop's guarding this. This is not good. This is not good at all. And I'm going to have back rank issues because I was behind in development. Now, he has back rank issues too, so I have my mind on that, but I don't think it's anything. Bishop d8. Yeah, I missed this move too. Now he's threatening to just plain take the bishop. I can't go bishop e7. I can't go bishop c7. I can't go bishop b6. I can't do anything really. So I went here, attacked the pawn. He moved it. Rook b8. I've got to stop that pawn, right? And for now, I've got this covered. Push the pawn. Yeah, and I didn't enter any moves after this, but oh, I was in time pressure as well. I forgot about that. I think I was under 2 minutes here when I stopped notating. But I mean, I don't know. What can black do? What can black do? My bishop can't move because there's mate. That's protected. It's gonna come to b7 next. I think I played g6 here. I think I may have played g6 here just to stop stuff on the back rank. But I really don't know what I'm supposed to do. Trying to remember what he did here. Oh, I know what he did. No, I don't. You know what? Actually, you know what I did? I didn't play G6 yet. I went here. Yeah, I went here, and I think he did this. And I went here. He did this. Basically, what happened was bishop a7. And that's just totally winning. I can't stop him from making a queen. I'm gonna have to sack my rook. And yeah, that was that. Okay, so that's all fine and dandy. I lost. But why did I lose? Why did I lose? I lost to that stupid d5 push again. So I miscalculated something. But this is going to be an excellent game to learn from because I will never blunder this way again. So what happened here? Well, first of all, my plan didn't work. This time for more complicated reasons than the other game, which I'm embarrassed to show you. I think it's on my channel though. I thought after d5 takes, I thought here, or maybe even here, and I thought I was fine. Let's see what the engine says about that. The engine says not really. White's better, like +1. And after rook f d8, which is the best move, this is what my opponent told me I should have played in the game. Yep. I always ask, I like to analyze with my opponents after the game. Yeah, he thought I should play this way. I guess it does trade more, which might be beneficial for me. Oh, also, you know what? I'm not moving my rook off of a6. Yeah. You know what? I just simply moved the wrong rook, didn't I? Yeah, if I go rook a to d8, this might be a little bit better too, though. Because when he takes, we can take there. Not as much pressure then because I can take back with my queen, which will defend a6. Okay. Yeah, but, you know, silly me, I didn't even think too much about the a-pawn. I didn't see that at all, which is just crazy to me. So the b-pawn is overworked and underpaid. You know, it can't protect the bishop and the a-pawn at the same time, but they're both attacked. So yeah, it's kind of, my pawn is just overworked. And after rook a c8, it's too late. Wow. Okay. But still, this is a good position for white. So how could I have played to keep the advantage? Wow. Well, okay, I see something from the engine. Okay, all these moves are fine. So c takes d4, it does like. I did do this. It likes it. He took back. That's fine. Rook d1's even better. Oh, rook d1 he did play. Okay, I castled. That's okay. Wow, it wants bishop d6. What? Not sure I understand that. I guess we are clogging the d file a little bit, protecting the queen from danger. But wow, moving the same piece twice. Yeah, I don't know about that. That's hard to play. I'm not gonna follow that necessarily. Okay, a castle. This is fine. E takes d4. Queen c7 is not the best, but it's okay. Now, I wanted queen a5. Computer likes that better, but it likes the best rook e8, which I don't understand really. other than the fact that it does protect the bishop and line up with the queen. Ah, that does make d5 harder to play, doesn't it? Okay, because that's our main objective here. We've got to stop d5, but also develop. The thing I didn't like about rook e8 is, like, it's not helping me otherwise, right? Like, it makes d5 harder, that's great, but I've got to get this guy out. So let's see what the computer would do after rook e8, and I'll play white and try to get d5. Yeah, I can tell that it's harder because my queen on e2 is lined up with that rook. But what if we just go, what if we do the same thing and just go bishop e3 or bishop f4? How about bishop e3? Computer says okay. It says it can play bishop d7. Really? Well, what if I go d5? I've got, like, lots of stuff on that. I'm sheltered. Computer says, oh, Stacia, you don't understand chess at all. Bishop d6 is a good move now. Okay, I don't understand chess at all. What is that? Okay, they're uncovering the rook on the queen, I guess. But they're, oh, and they're allowing us to take? Oh, now if we take. Wow, rook e8 came in handy, didn't it? Okay, well, I guess I underestimated that move. So that's something I definitely learned. But really, my real blunder, yeah, it doesn't like bishop c6 here. Here, it wants rook ac8, which is funny because that's the move I was criticizing before. Okay, if rook ac8 makes sense. Oh, it does make sense here because now the bishop's attacked. Okay, well, let's move the knight. Discovered defense on the bishop. Kind of like that idea. Where can we move the knight? See, this is why computers are good. Because not only does it see that we would like to move the knight, it sees that there's nowhere to move it. Like way in advance. So if I can't move that knight anywhere good, then yeah, I just have to retreat the bishop to b3, and that's the top move. Okay. Well, I'm learning a little bit more about this position, but some of this feels too computerish for me. So what I am going to do is study positions from Grandmaster games. I think that's the way to go. I'm going to see how the Grandmasters deal with this threat of d5. You know, you're probably like, Stacia, stop talking about it. Okay, but sure, but I lost the game because of the threats of d5 and miscalculating a solution. But also, when you play a slow game of chess, okay, even though this is 60 minutes, I'm pretty sure I spent like 40 minutes just figuring out what to do against d5. I'm pretty sure that something like that is the case because it was a threat for several moves in a row and I had to calculate it over and over again. So this is a downside of the Queen's Gambit Accepted. So could I have done something better earlier? This is my final question and we'll move on to the next game. Engine doesn't seem to think so. It likes all this. Yeah, it just doesn't like bishop c6. Here, I need to go rook ac8. Now white has to waste a move. Yeah, that's nice. That's good enough for me. Wow, but then it wants queen b6. Okay, I'm... Queen b6. Walking into that, but it's a tempo. Okay, I gotta see what the computer wants here because this looks ridiculous to me. Okay, the bishop moves again, then we move again. Okay, that makes sense because I'm not staying on b6. That is not a very human way to play, though, I gotta say. I've never been told by any of my strong coaches, yeah, here's what you do. You move your queen one square, they move their bishop one square, then you move your queen one square again. This is normal. I'd be like, what? Yeah, so these lines are that I'm looking at are a bit computerish. I'm gonna have to talk to my coaches and look at actual games. Yeah, so this is a painful loss to start the tournament, but don't worry. The tournament gets nice and spicy, so stay tuned. I'm going to share round 2 with you next. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next round. Okay, bye.